Hey guys, so big day today. Your multi-genre projects are due. Make sure that you are sending me those. Remember that you have to submit them as one file. So that's a big part of this is that it has to all be in one file that I can just open up. If you need to put links into videos or whatever, you can do that. But I don't want six different files of all this stuff. It's one project, submit it all together. So if you have problems with doing that, email me. We can set up a Zoom call or whatever you need to do. I also want to start. I also want to discuss your reading that you're starting today. So from now until what'll be the end of our what would be our regular school year, that'll be the pattern each day. You'll be reading 7 days a week, actively reading and doing your journal entries Monday through Thursday. That's all you'll have for me for the rest of the year, for the next 4 weeks. So make sure that you're keeping up daily with your reading. As I said in the instructions, you want to divide your books by 14 days. So you can start today on your fiction, or you can start today on your nonfiction. That is up to you. But either way, you want to divide those pages by 14 days to give yourself a pace, to know what you have to read each day to finish 2 weeks from today. Then you'll have the last 2 weeks to read the opposite book. So if you're doing fiction now, you'll do nonfiction the last 2 weeks. If you're doing nonfiction now, you'll do fiction the last 2 weeks. And the same thing will apply. Divide that book, the total pages, by 14 days, and that's how much you should be reading each day. I also posted on the assignment today that the active reading instructions. So the active reading instructions are basically to prepare you for what I'm going to ask you to do on the final. So read through those closely. Make sure you're tracking those things I asked for. So for the nonfiction, you're looking at methods of organization. What methods of organization is the author using? Annotate that. Write notes about what you see as far as order of importance, cause and effect, compare, contrast, narration, description. Then you want to look at the author's tone. You want to look at the author's style and how the author is trying to be persuasive. So make sure that you are annotating all of this because you're going to be asked about all of this in the final project. And then the same thing for the fiction. You're going to look at themes. You're going to look at those themes through our literary lenses. Now, not all of the literary lenses will apply to every single one of your books. You want to use the ones that do apply. So if your book is very much about money, then you're going to have more about the Marxist lens. If your book is very much a relationship driven or has a female protagonist or deals a lot with gender issues, then you're going to use more of the gender lens. So you should look at whichever ones apply to your book. Virtually all of them will have the psych lens. Some of them will have the biographical. Some of them will use the post-colonial. Whichever ones apply, those are the ones you should use for your book. Okay. At the beginning of the book, you might be using 4 or 5 lenses. Then as you get further into it, you'll narrow your focus down to 1 or 2. Okay. But keep a track of those. And then, of course, you're always looking for the things we've been talking about since I started teaching you. So literary elements, figurative language, literary devices. Okay, so those things we've been tracking all along. It doesn't stop now. One other thing I wanted to just send out while I'm sending this video out to all of you is that starting next week, I'll be setting up a calendar. I'll be sending the calendar out tomorrow to set up individual Zoom meetings to go over your multi-genre project. So that is how essentially I'll be grading it. We'll go through, I'll talk through any changes that you might have to make to it. I'll talk to you about what you did well, what you didn't do well. We'll talk a little bit about your books. But I'm going to set that up on an individual basis. So we'll be doing individual Zoom calls starting on Monday. The schedule for that will go out tomorrow, and you can sign up for your time slot tomorrow. Okay. As always, Any questions, email me. We can always set up a Zoom meeting before next week. And I am available on my Zoom office hour today, as usual, from 1:30 to 2:30. Um, Good luck. Talk to you soon.